There he is, Mr. Harris
Hey,
Stevenson. What's going
What's
on,
going on,
man?
guys?
what's up,
Oh
man?
man, just trying to get these last few pounds off, and so I can eat.
How's it going? I saw you running earlier.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I've done 2 workouts today so far. About to do my third. Got to throw the sauna suit on, some Aveline. Cut a little weight tonight, and then tomorrow should only have a few pounds cut in the sauna for weigh-in. So, but it's going good. Camp's going real well. So no injuries. I got my cardio better than ever. So, because I know
I'm
that
digging
this,
your poster behind you. Actually, it's a good
hey, yeah,
background. That's a
There
good
you go.
background
yes,
right
sir.
there.
There we go.
What's the preferred post cut food? What's the preferred post cut meal?
Oh man, I had a ritual, man. I'm not healthy about it. I'm not technical. I used to go to Sicily's and smash the buffet, and then I
Ooh.
let that settle a few hours later, and I'd go smash Mugshots, which is a big burger joint down here, and they got the best burgers in town. So I did that for the longest, and then actually before one of my BKFC fights, I ended up doing it. I got sick, so I stopped the ritual, and I just
Ooh.
now I just do the mug shots. So,
That
Wow.
sounds like I want to eat there. We don't have that here.
uh, no, if y'all come down here, man, y'all have to stop by Mug Shots. They're number one in the state for like the last 7 years for burgers, and I'm a burger guy, so
We got McDonald's. Does that count? That's not a real burger. That
I
doesn't count.
right.
Well, that's all right. Well, look, man, tell us, you got a big fight coming up in just a couple days. Like you said, you're cutting the weight. Man, what a huge show. You got, of course, Jim Ellers versus Leonard Garcia. You got the co-main with Arnold Adams versus the Vanilla Gorilla, Chase Sherman. Man, talk about your fight. You're fighting Josh Boudreaux. Talk about that. What can we expect from you this weekend?
I'm actually fighting Corey Jones. Uh,
Oh, so my information is not correct. All right.
no, so I think
My
Josh Boudreaux's
apologies.
fighting at no, you're fine. I think Josh Boudreaux's fighting Adam Pallarano, who they're both
Okay.
two coast guys.
Okay.
But I'm by the name of Corey Jones. He's actually out of the same camp as Marcel Stamps. So you know he's going to come
Okay.
from a good camp.
Oh,
He's a real big guy. Makes me look tiny. I'm going to have height on him, but he's definitely going to have a lot of size on me. So I just got to work my angles, stay moving, and not get hit by one of them big old shots he's going to throw.
Yeah. Interesting.
oof. Can we expect the smile on your face through all these rounds like every other fight? It's so weird. I know every time I talk to you, I ask you. It's just the weirdest thing. Like, we'll punch
Uh,
each other in the face with no gloves, and then we're going to smile at each other because we're having a good time doing it.
Always, man. I'm living my dream right now. So I don't care how much it hurts. So
I find it odd when you say somebody's big because you're a big guy. You're tall. You're by no means skinny. So for you to say this is a big guy, when we talked, you said I got a big guy this round. That's a good thing though. Build that profile.
yes, sir. How monstrous thick, and he's actually I think he was a bodybuilder. He's a power lifter. He's got like videos of
Mm.
deadlifting like 600 pounds, just doing ridiculous workouts, jumping on boxes like 5 foot high. Like he's just athletic all the way around. So he's
Who
gonna be
does
tough.
that?
Not me.
That's
We
wild.
I feel like every fight obviously is tough, but
Yep.
everybody's seen you perform before. I really believe there's no fight out there that you can't deal with. Plus, you have a little bit. I'm not saying overall experience. Let's just stick to the sport itself. You have. I think that plays. You have fights in bare knuckle. I think it plays
Right.
a big part. The first time you get touched, it's just different. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Oh man, getting hit with bare knuckles on a completely different ball game because you don't know. I've never been in a fist fight myself before bare knuckle. All my fights have all been in the ring. I've always been the nerdy, quiet guy, and then just one day decided, hey, I was going to fight. There's never been a street fight in my life, so it was awkward for me the first time I did it. But doing bare knuckle, getting actually hit with the knuckle was very very strange. You know, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what to anticipate. My first fight, it was 26 seconds. I didn't really get to feel much. But obviously, my second fight with Elvin Brito, we went to the fifth round, and that was an absolute war. And I'm gonna tell you, comparing bare knuckle to MMA gloves, it's much more painful. Maybe not during because the adrenaline, but after the fact, yeah, I felt it a lot worse. But it's actually the punching that buddy bare knuckle, because I've hurt my hands a little bit here and there. Haven't broke anything, just aggravation, because you're not used to that blunt force against your knuckles against somebody's forehead or what have you. So you really do have to pick your shots.
Yeah.
That seems to be what everybody says. You have to, like, you can't throw a wild, hard shot because if your wrist isn't straight, you don't hit with the right knuckles. A lot can go wrong, and you could be winning a fight and throw one wild punch. And I think it happened to, who did it happen to? Charles Bennett punched a guy on the hip, and that's it.
Yeah.
Your hands are gone. So is
Right,
that like a focus? Because I know you fight MMA as well. Is that like a focus? You have to like mentally try to switch gears. Like, I cannot just heave punches out there and it doesn't matter what I hit.
Right. Yeah. And I actually, my last fight was MMA. So that was actually hard for me to go back to that, because I fought 3 times for bare knuckle back to back to back without fighting
Right.
in MMA in between. So that was actually hard for me to switch from just throwing hands. But for this camp, I actually switched it up a little bit more and actually went just to a strictly boxing camp. And I went to a strictly boxing school, trained with pro boxers, got my butt kicked a lot and learned a lot. So I think I'm gonna show a lot of improvements, and I think y'all gonna like what you see. I hope.
You're like a fan favorite, dude. It doesn't matter what you do. Everybody likes you. I feel like you're just like a nice, you know what I mean? Everybody, that's what we see. When you put posts, people like your posts more than my posts. And I don't like that.
Well, man, you need
Well,
to
dude,
tell those
I'm
YouTube
telling you,
critics.
man, the whole Clark Kent of bare knuckle, man. I'm telling you, that is that's a whole entire gimmick in itself. I mean, like, the T-shirts should be flying off the shelf.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
like
The
it.
last
Yeah,
the last one the
I
last one
love that,
flew
man.
off. The last ones flew off the shelf real well, and then actually the new ones I just got them in. I think it was yesterday, and they're actually police themed, and they're flying off the shelves even quicker.
They
So
were nice. The
it's
blue with the black print. I saw it on
Yeah.
your
yeah,
Facebook.
yes
I saw
sir.
it too. So, what do you think, man? I guess let's go into. We don't have to give predictions, but what do you think about the Jim Ellers Garcia fight?
I think that's gonna be an absolute war. Both guys like to kind of stand in the pocket and trade. Um, I know Jim Allers is more of a Southern guy. I haven't really watched him. I know he's a UFC vet,
Yeah.
but I know Garcia from back in the day. Like I said, I used to watch him when he fought Roger Huerta. Was one of my favorite fights from years and years ago in the UFC. And I think even in Garcia's fight when he fought in Mexico, I think he showed that he can take a shot and still be dangerous. So I don't know if Jim Allers brings that same potential to the table, but I know both guys are going to stand there and throw, and pretty much whoever gets caught first is who's going down.
You think that maybe it plays to a disadvantage, or it's kind of like business as usual, because Garcia was scheduled to face Jason Knight. Of course, everybody knows he had the rib injury, had to pull out, and Jim Ellers, it's an entirely different fight now. Whereas Jason Knight is more the volume puncher, like you said, similar in the sense of he presses forward. They both are a pressing forward style fighter, but Jim Ellers is a lot more about picking his shots, right? Going for more, dropping the bombs. Whereas Jason Knight is just volume, not letting you breathe, right? So, like, does something like that, you think it affects a veteran like Leonard Garcia, like, change up last minute? Or is it, you think it's just, man, it is what it is, just bring him on?
I think for somebody like Leonard, man, I think it's just business as usual. I think he might tweak a little of his game plan, but I think Leonard's game plan is ultimately the same in every fight he's ever been in, and that's just go in and trade and try to catch somebody while in the pocket, because he'll stay in the pocket a lot of times. He'll play the outside game a little bit, but then if he can get to the inside and get you playing his game, he's on to win 90% of the time.
Yeah, we were talking about it before you came on, and we can't pick. There's no way to pick. You can't pick. There's no way to pick 90% of the fights on the card.
Right, absolutely. I mean, they're just evenly matched all the way around, and that's what makes them so exciting. And like I said, I'm surprised as heck they're doing the card for free, but hey, it's a blessing.
Josh just said that.
We were just talking about that. I said, it blew my mind. because the card is stacked, man. I'm like the idea that this card is for free to me, it's crazy. But hey, I'm glad. I'm thankful for it because it's free. Now I don't have to pay. I would have paid it, but I'm glad it's free. I'm glad that it'll expose the world to you guys. I'm hoping that more guys will tune in, more people will tune in, maybe that have never seen bare knuckle before. Maybe this is their
Right.
first time. Maybe you guys are going to be like their first introduction into that world, into the world of bare knuckle boxing. And it's like, man, I mean, just a whole new audience, man. I really hope it turns out good for you guys, man. I mean, for the company and for you guys, for the fighters, man. I hope that just equals more eyeballs on you guys.
Yes, sir. And I think it absolutely will, because I think they're doing it at a good time. Because I mean, like the BKFC 6 show, they did the numbers and showed that they outdid the UFC numbers that night. So I think that's showing how popular sports already is going, and they're putting videos online now from older fights. Like my fight with Elvin Brito just hit YouTube.
Yep.
I checked it the other day, and it was already over 250,000 views.
Jesus.
So, and that's been on the net for 3 days, 4 days, and it's already over 250,000. But
Wow.
I think it's just a good gesture because this all launched in June. Nobody knew what was going to happen. Nobody knew that we'd be sitting here talking to you on the 7th card now. You know what I mean? So I think it's a good play just to like, hey, just literally just a thank you. Could they have made a pay-per-view? Absolutely. Would it have made sales? No question about it. But it's kind of cool when you give back to the people, that make it possible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For you, for
absolutely.
them, for us, it's the fans.
Right.
I
Absolutely.
think what
think
we're
it's
going to
gonna.
see is no, go ahead, Harris.
Yeah.
No, I just think it's gonna, if they can pull the numbers of how many viewers they have, I think it's just gonna be astronomical, because everybody I've talked to who isn't able to make it, like the guys who work patrol that day,
Yeah.
getting off at 7 o'clock, they're going straight home and we're gonna watch it on TV. So anybody I've talked to who can't make the show is watching it online. So anybody I know is watching it. So that's a lot of people in itself. So I can only imagine how far it's spread nationwide, worldwide.
It's going to be something.
100%. I'm curious because I think as we've done the research and we've done research, we've done polls, we've done our own checking the records. MMA, the guys who cross over from MMA versus the guys who cross over from traditional boxing are more successful. Now, whether that's has to do with, I don't know whether that has to do with, maybe the distance, because the distance is a little more similar to like the MMA range versus like traditional boxing glove range. But what do you feel, man? From somebody who does both, what do you think is going to be the driving factor to drive more of these, more notable or more MMA stars to bare knuckle?
I think mainly it's gonna come down to bare knuckle establishing its brand, which is doing it. It's called like wildfire. I think once it proves it's here to stay, because there's a lot of haters that think that it's not going to stick around because people are going to break their hands too quick or what have you. But I mean, that's proven 7 shows. They've had like 2 broken hands or something. I mean, that's proven that it's not going to happen. I've been in 3 bare knuckle shows, and I haven't broke my hand not once, and one of which was a 5-rounder, one of which made it to the 5th round.
0 concussions. So, 0 concussions.
Right, absolutely. And I got knocked smooth out in my second bare knuckle fight, and I didn't suffer concussion. It was actually a brachial plexus shot that did me in. So I mean, when I came to, I remembered everything that happened. I just my equilibrium was still a little bit off. I didn't have the concussed shot that I've had previously, being knocked out in MMA or what.
Yeah. Plus the research is there that it's, even though it sounds crazy, it is safer overall. I mean, there's tons and tons of research and studies that were done. I guess you could reevaluate it when the sport's in their 5th year and 10th year. But so far, it's all good.
Yes, sir. Like I said, the only thing I've had in my 3 bare knuckle fights is I had 1 stitch, literally 1 stitch in my cheek, and that was it. Everything else has all been superficial cuts, lacerations, stuff that's healed on its own. I mean, I've had the super glue cuts from MMA and stuff multiple times.
Yeah.
So it's been nice.
What are the MMA guys, like in the gyms you train at, like just the straight MMA guys? Do they see you guys, like the guys who do the bare knuckle too? They're like, man, you guys are fucking nuts doing that. Or they like, man, tell me about it. Like, I want to do it. Or like, what are the reactions in the gyms?
A lot of them are play the "you're nuts" card, just because they like the argument that you're going to get cut too much, build scar tissue, and break your hands is their biggest concerns, especially for the MMA side of things.
Yeah.
And try to explain to them. I mean, I've done it 3 times, haven't broke my hand, have superficial lacerations, but I don't really have any scar tissue built up in my face. I mean, nothing's really changed. So
scar tissue builds up in MMA too. There's guys that have soft spots that they bust open easy.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely.
100%.
We're on the bare knuckle train. It don't matter.
Yeah,
well,
that's it.
Mr. Harris Stephenson, I tell you what, man, I'm pumped. Every time you're on a card, it's exciting. All the cards are exciting, man, but I tell you what, we're a huge fan. We're just a huge fan of the sport in general, man. I mean, we really are. We're extremely passionate about it, and I just want to see it go further. The promotion, like I said, just the sport in general. I think like the more eyeballs and the fact that it's on YouTube, I still think it's crazy, but it's great. I think it's great for the sport. It's great for the world of combat sports, and like I said, the more exposure you guys get is it's nothing but a good thing, man. But guys, check out Harris Stephenson. He's going to be on BKFC 7 this weekend, right? If you're in Biloxi, go catch it live. Otherwise, just go to YouTube.
If you miss it, you're wrong.
You're wrong. Why? Like it's a free card. Go to YouTube. Go to the Bare Knuckle BKFC official page. Check it out. You've got no reason not to.
That's it.
That's it.
We're done.
We're done, Mr. Harris. We appreciate your time, man, especially so close to the fight. I know you're in the middle of cutting weight, so like I said, we very much appreciate your time. We know that time is extremely valuable, and we wish you the best of luck, sir, this weekend.